Okay, folks, welcome back to the broadcast of today's contest of the second of two games here in the doubleheader between Blue Earth and those guys. We'll try to get you back up to date, but very sorry we lost power here at Bancroft Memorial Park. We'll try to bring you up to speed. Currently in the bottom of the fourth inning, we got runners at the corners. Brendan Dockery led things off with a leadoff walk, and hit right after that, Arthur Sells, as you see, just walked to a free 90. We got runners at first and third. And Chris Witzke at the plate now. And Alan David, still the pitcher, steps off. For the fourth, we saw a new pitcher, Josh Lonan. Started things off with 3 consecutive walks, and the 3 outs came on a pickoff to Logan Johnke, a strikeout to Hunter Blease, and then a ground out for Keegan O'Brien. So he was able to get things, able to get out of a bit of a jam there in the top of the fourth. Still scoreless for Blue Earth, and it's 7-0 now those guys as Chris Witzke watches 2 balls go by. So again, Brendan Dougherty walked to start things off, stole second, and got to third on a wild pitch, and then the cleanup batter, Arthur Sells, just walks. He stands on first base. Chris Witzke now with a 2-0 hitters count here in the bottom of the fourth. And the pitch, and it'll miss outside for ball 3. The count now for Chris Witzke. Let's see if he's got the green light. The pitch, and this one will miss high. 4 straight balls to load him up for Aaron Mason. Got a quick mound visit here. It looks like potentially a pitching change. It'll be Kane Mallow, number 8, coming in to try to get Blue Earth out of this one, and they've just had a rough go at it here in game number 2 today, pitching-wise. Once again, new pitcher for Blue Earth, Kane Mallow. Stepping in now, 0 for 2, Aaron Cowboy Mason. A strikeout in the first and a ground out to third in the second. And the base is loaded up for him. He went 1 for 3 earlier today. Let's see if he can get back there as the first pitch from Mallow. A breaking ball just hanging on the corner for strike 1. Second pitch, the at-bat, Mason just swings right through another curveball for strike 2. And Mallow quickly settling in the zone here with 2 strikes to Aaron Mason. Mallow from the windup, and Mason rips this one in the air to deep left field. It's past the fielder and down in the corner. This is going to be extra bases. Dougherty will score, so will Sells, and Witzke comes around the bases. So down 0-2, Aaron Mason clears the bases with a 3 RBI double. Good stuff there from Cowboy. So 3 straight walks to set the bases loaded for Kane Mallow, and he gets ahead 0-2 in the count to Mason. Sits back, and he just sends one in the air to deep left. 1-0 count now to Connor Lang. And this one, just gets it on the cap, and it looks like it's going to stay fair. Lang hustling to first, but not in time. That's out number 1. So following the Mason double, it makes it 10-0 for those guys. Mason will now be standing on third after the 2-3 put out to retire Lang. He's now 0 for 1. He's reached base twice by 2 walks. To bring up Carter Tronson. Try to keep on adding the pitch. And Tronson sits back on this one, but just still a bit of about a hair ahead of it. Now to play for strike 1. Second pitch of the at-bat on the way to Tronson, and misses high and inside for ball 1. Here's the 1-1. This one rides just a couple inches off the plate, taken for ball 2. 2-1 count now for Tronson. He steps in. 1 for 1. He's singled and scored back in the second. He also has a walk in his last time up. And it's a 3-1 hitters count now for him. It's an at-bat in 3 consecutive innings, and this one taken chest high for strike 2. See what he does with it here. Mallow wasting little time, and here's the payoff pitch. Tronson going to just get a piece of this one to fend off the plate, stay alive here. With 1 down, Mason standing on third. Three-two. Here's the pitch as Tronson hits this one in the air to shallow center field. Johnke's going to make the grab and throw towards the plate, and it's going to skip past the catcher. Mason will come in to score. So a sacrifice fly for Carter Tronson. Way to do a job with a full count and less than 2 outs. But now we do have 2 outs, and that'll bring up Sam Olson stepping in 1 for 2, a single and an infield fly. First pitch of the at-bat's Olson. This one runs outside for ball 1. Again, very sorry the power went out just a bit earlier. So as this one, Olson hits in the air to straight away, but it's going to stay in the infield, and no communication between the shortstop and second base. But luckily, police will track it down and make the grab for out number 3. To put away those guys in the 4th. But Aaron Mason comes up big. 3 RBI double, and he scores on a sacrifice fly from Tronson. So that's 4 runs on 1 hit and 3 walks. We played 4 here from Bancroft. We head to the top of the 5th with Josh Lonan still doing the work here, as he'll be facing off against hitters 2, 3, 4. Legrid, Faring, and Anderson due up for the Pirates. back here in the top of the fifth. Lonan has a 1-1 count to Legred. Make that ball 2. Those guys lead Blue Earth 11-0. It was a big inning for Aaron Mason. 3 consecutive walks from the Pirates. Down 0-2, and he ropes one to deep left field. A 3 RBI double. Later scores on a sacrifice fly from Carter Tronson, making it 11-0. A big 4-run inning for those guys in the bottom of the fourth. Still back here, Lonan still trying to settle in and consistently stay in the zone. It's 3-1. And this one hit hard to third. Doherty with a backhanded stop and a laser across the diamond to first to Tronson. 5-3 put out. Impressive defensive play from Brendan Doherty at third base for out number 1. So with 1 down, nobody on, we now go to the 3-hitter in the Blue Earth order, Anders Faring. 1 for 1 so far in this game. He's got a double and a walk. First pitch, and Lonan paints the corner, low and outside for strike 1. And a pitch and a nice curveball just cuts back in the zone a little too late, taken for ball 1. Good pitch from Lonan. But even up the count here, 1-1, 1 down, nobody on base. A pitch taken above the letters, ball 2. Two one here to Faring. Swung on and missed for strike 2. Count gets back to even 2-2 here. Lonan from the winds up fires the 2-2 and a breaking ball just a little too low there. We worked the count full. Wind really picking up here in Bancroft. Straightaway center, that is. And a curveball, that's going to freeze Faring. Looking at that one for strike 3. Just relentless. And somehow we've had a couple of hits squeak past the wind, including a big 3-run homer from Arthur Sells earlier this game. That came back in inning number 2. And this one will miss outside from Lonan, ball 1. Sun's starting to dip down now out of the west. Got a nice shade in foul territory. It's a 1-1 count now, as the batter Garrett Anderson takes strike 1 of the last pitch. Lonan quickly back in the windup. This one painting at the knees for strike 2. Nice breaking ball there from Lonan. Let's see what he's got here with 2 strikes on Anderson. Fires the 1-2 and taken just outside for ball 2. I might want to check up on the press box after this one. Fourth pitch of the at-bat, and it's grounded towards the first base side. Tronson has it. He'll field it and just step on it for out number 3. As Lonan retires the Pirates in order. And we're going to the bottom of the 5th. Those guys leading 11-0. Coach Kieran talking it over with some of the Blue Earth players in the dugout. With an 11-0 score here, Coach Kieran still talking over with Blue Earth down at their dugout. See if we'll continue this contest. Some stoppage in the play here. Nobody's still taking the field. Tynan Shahidi still warming up outside the dugout. We'll be at the top of the order with Brad Goulet. And we're going to keep going. Wonder what that was about. It's the bottom of the 5th inning. Those guys lead 11-0. Still got one more arm loosening up for those guys in the bullpen after Lonin has a 2-strikeout performance, no runs, about 3 walks, and a couple of groundouts. Looks like we'll get Kane Mallow still back on the mound for the Pirates for Blue Earth. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter to stay up to date on all the scoring as well as any updates, as we'll also post the links to all these games which you can watch on YouTube. But again, highly recommend just coming out one weekend and catching a couple of games. A 7-inning doubleheader at either Saturday or Sunday here at one of the most historic fields in the state of Iowa, Bancroft Memorial Park, last year home to the Bancroft Bandits, winning the PCBL League Championship. However, the COVID-19 pandemic canceled that season for the Pioneer League. The field will still play host to North Union High School. They'll be playing a fraction of their season starting in a week from tomorrow. In the meantime, we're still here in the bottom of the 5th. With the top of the order due up here, leading things off with our leadoff hitter, Brad Goulet. He swings and just tips the first pitch of the at-bat foul for strike 1. Goulet still standing in here with an 0-1 count. Nobody on, nobody out. And the pitch sits back, but still well ahead of it. Grounds this one past the shortstop. And he won't be able to make the grab. Goulet goes to first safely. So the shortstop charging in hard and couldn't make the grab. Goulet leads things off on first. And now we got Shahidi stepping in. He hits this one in the air to deep right center. The wind might kill it. And indeed it does. A well-batted ball for Tynan Shahidi. Now going 1 for 4 in this contest, but that's out number 1 there. Still a solid day at the plate. You can't knock yourself too much when you hit a ball in the nose just directly into the wind. With 1 down, 1 runner on first still, we'll go to Brent. Actually, this is Nate Schultz up at the plate now. Catcher from game number 1 today. Looking for a productive at-bat here. And this one popped him up to the left side. This could be trouble. And with the sun playing a factor, no one could really see it, and nonetheless, it still flies out of play. I believe we got pitcher Jacob Wesselman on deck. I know he was a dual player at Martinsdale St. Mary's, a top 1A program here in Iowa. But he'll get a whack at it here. So Schultz standing in now with a 2-1 count after ball 2, taking that one inside. So this one going to be fouled back, strike 2. 2-2 count here for Schultz. Goulet still leading off first. And this one grounded sharply, and that's fair. Down the third base side, this could be extra bases. Stoltz rounds first. Goulet comes racing around second and third. Brad Goulet going to come in to score, and it's an RBI double for Nate Schultz. Great stuff there to get things going here in the bottom of the 5th, and those guys now with a lot of momentum offensively. And indeed, we're going to let the pitcher out of Briarcliff, Jacob Wesselman. Let's see what he's got at the plate. 1 down. Schultz at second, and Wesselman takes a big swing and a miss there for strike 1. Following an RBI double from Nate Schultz, the catcher out of Miami, Ohio. And the pitch, a curveball, and I think this one might have been fouled. We'll get the call on the pitch here, but Schultz doesn't advance to third. Indeed, 0-2, a foul ball somehow. Third pitch of the at-bat and a curveball just dies a little bit too low from Kane Mallow. For ball one. 1-2 Mallow wasting little time from the belt, and Wesselman's going to chop this one towards shortstop. Blease with the throw, and in time for out number 2. Six-3 put out retires Wesselman, and we'll go back to Chris Witzke in the 5-hole. He grounds this one towards the first base side, and Hodges makes the play. Witzke nearly beats it out. With Hodges, all he had to do was just cover a lot less ground than Witzke with a hard 90. But they're going to leave one runner stranded and Nate Schultz on second base. And Witzke grounds out to first to retire the side here. One runner left stranded. 1 run on 2 base hits. And we've played 5 complete here, and the Pirates of Blue Earth are going to be set to come up the bat here. 5, 6, 7, Kane Mallow, Logan Johnke, and Lee Hodges due up for Blue Earth. Pitching now for those guys for the first time this summer, Brett Price Jr. out of DMAC. Couldn't quite get his stats from college, but he was a standout pitcher at Boone High School. 7-3 record his senior year, 2.23 ERA, and then had 97 strikeouts in 72 innings of work. So Brett's going to get his debut as well on the mound here today. Bit of a weekend just to get our pitchers back in the swing of things, as that first weekend back to game speed usually turns out to be an adjustment period, but we've seen exceptional work from nearly all of our pitchers so far this weekend. And Brett Price will be the next to step on the mound, potentially closing this one out for those guys as they lead 12-0. So far, he's got some sharp stuff from his warm-up pitches. Lang will still be doing the catching. Looks like we'll have both Sells and Doherty re-enter the game at third and left field after Schultz had an RBI pinch hit double and Wesselman pinch hit ground out. So we'll now go back to the Blue Earth 5 spot. Kane Mallow stepping in 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. First pitch, Price. Ooh, this is a good spot here, missing just about a hair outside for ball 1. Not a bad pitch here. Let's see what Bryce has. 1-0 from the windup, and he fires. Mallow takes this one above the knees for strike 1. Bryce has his pitch back from the windup, and the 1-1 swung on, grounded towards third. Doherty gets past him. Olson still has a play to Tronson at first. 6-3 put out, and a great play there from Sam Olson to stay with it. Just a slow roller towards third base. Gets right past Doherty, but good thing that's why you always have a backup. And Sam Olson completes the play for out number 1. Nobody on. And we go back to Logan Johnke. He reached by a walk last time. Stepping in 0 for 1, also striking out back in the first. Should make that the second inning. He'll take ball 1 high. And here's the 1-0 pitch from Price Jr. just outside in the other box for ball 2. Johnke takes this one for strike 1, paying the corner. 2-1 pitch here to Jonke, and it's going to be low and outside, ball 3. And just a hot, windy day here. We had temperatures in the lower to mid-90s as Jonke swings and misses through that one. Strike 2 from Brett Price. We get back to a full count. After retiring Mallow on the ground out, still 1 away. Payoff pitch coming up. Price fires just outside. Jonke walks again. Back to the 7th spot in the order with Lee Hodges, first baseman. Pitch from Price over the inside part of the plate for strike 1. Price going to be working out of the stretch now. 0-1 count, 1 out. The pitch. Swung on, grounded towards Doherty. He makes the grab, the throw to second for Goulet for 1 and to first for a double play. Great job there defensively. 5-4-3. And I believe that's going to do it. They're going to call this one after 12 runs and 5.5 innings. So the game's going to end after out number 3 on the 5-4-3 double play. Those guys affirmatively ahead in this one, 12-0. And we're going to have to recalculate our stats because it was one heck of a ball game in this one for those guys, especially offensively. We saw a home run from Arthur Sells, a 3 RBI double from Mason, another RBI double from Nate Schultz in the pinch hitting spot. And consistently through both games, exceptional pitching. So picking up the win in game number 1, Jacob Wesselman had 8 strikeouts through 4 innings. And as well, combining with Lucas Gardner, we got another pitcher in there. And Nick Cole, so 2 Briarcliff boys and 1 out of Iowa Lakes shared the 3-way no-hitter for their second victory this season earlier, defeating Blue Earth 2-0. And now they end things 12-0 over Blue Earth, Minnesota, the Pirates. So again, now we'll take that for our start to the summer. 3 wins to just 1 loss. And we're spelling a great amount of potential after the 2 games we just witnessed today. Well, let's go down the numbers. Our starting pitcher today was Nate Zizda. And through 3 innings of work, had 6 strikeouts. We then saw Josh Lonan, 2 strikeouts, 3 walks, but still no runs given up there. So productive day. And we saw Brett Price Jr., a 1-2-3 inning to close the door. A ground out, a walk, and a 5-4-3 double play. Offensively for those guys, Brad Goulet had another big day at the plate this game. 2 for 3. A double, an infield single, and 2 runs scored in the leadoff spot. First game, Tynan Shahidi went 2 for 3, but this one he goes 1 for 4. Still had a couple of well-batted balls and 1 run scored, as well as an RBI for Shahidi. For Brendan Doherty, he goes 2 for 2, reaching base 3 times by a walk and 2 singles, had 1 RBI, 1 stolen base, and 1 run scored. Arthur Sells went 1 for 2 with a walk, 2 runs scored, and a 3-run home run back in the second inning. That's just got to be a big amount of strength to do that, and with the amount of wind we've had. Also a pinch hitting for Nate Schultz for Brendan Doherty in the 5th inning. He had an RBI double. That scored Brad Goulet. And Jacob Wesselman also went 0 for 1 with a ground out in the 5th. And then with the 5-hitter, we had Chris Witzke reaching base 3 times by a walk, 1 run scored, and a ground out in the 5th. Aaron Mason went 1 for 3 once again in both games today, actually. He had that big 3 RBI double and 1 run scored back in the fourth. Connor Lang reached base twice by a walk. 1 run scored, left stranded on third one time, had a ground out. And Carter Transon started to turn in a nice game here. Went 1 for 1 in 3 plate appearances. Had a single to left center, 1 run scored. Had a walk and a sacrifice fly. So also 1 RBI to his name. Sam Olson reached base on a bunt for a single and finished the game 1 for 3. Well, I think that's about going to wrap it up for those guys today. Once again, you can see us in 6 days. We'll be taking on Baseball 365 for another doubleheader scheduled for Saturday at 2:30. And then on Sunday, we'll be taking on Wells for another doubleheader a week from today. Final score from game number 1 of today's doubleheader. Coach Kieran and Coach Sartorius win them both 2-0 in the first one, and in the nightcap, 12-0 on a 10-run rule. So great stuff all around, and those guys finished their first weekend of baseball 3-1. We'll take that any day of the week. My name is Mitchell Kieran. Thank you so much for tuning in to Those Guys Baseball, and we'll see you again next time.